We're presently in chapter 3 of Proverbs, and the whole chapter starts with guidance for the young. And that's pretty much every one of us that's alive. We can always do something better. There's something we can learn. And though we'd gone up to verse 7, but this week we had started doing a recap from verse 1, just get back to where we got to last week before we continue. And yesterday we looked at Proverbs 3:5, probably one of the most popular verse of scripture after John 3:16. Says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And verse 6 pretty much continues from verse 5. And it says, in all your ways, acknowledge him. In all your ways, acknowledge him in everything that concerns your life, in everything that you do, bring God onto the scene, in a sense, I recently survey recently came out, looking at the most prayed country, and my dear country, Nigeria, I believe, came out as number 2 after Indonesia, I believe, as the countries that pray the most, and we get to do that. Almost every meeting, someone wants to pray before the meeting, and so it's that acknowledging God. I believe it goes a bit more than that. It's good to pray to start a meeting, but acknowledging God, praying is acknowledging him in and part and parcel of the meeting, is whereby we acknowledge, I believe it's Proverbs 3:5, in that meeting where it says, let mercy and truth not depart from you. To acknowledge God is not just to say prayer before and after. It's what do you do between the prayer? Between the prayer, can that meeting be defined as a meeting that acknowledges God in the in-between? All the deliberations, all the decisions made, do they glorify God? Will God be pleased by the deliberations? It's not enough to pray to start a meeting, to pray end the meeting. The deliberations, do they honor God? If truly we could practice the presence of God in that meeting, would we say the things that we'd say? Would we would we have the deliberations that we have? Will our discussions have the same trajectory that they have? Will the decisions, our conclusions, our action items be the same if truly God was present in our meeting? So when we say acknowledging God, right, in everything, it's part of it is practicing the presence of God wherever we are, whatever we do, right, or whatever we're planning to do, that we honor God in that thing. And not just honoring God, also, it's also coming to him like people who are in need of him, right? Acknowledging him is to recognize the limitedness of our humanity, is to say, God, I need your help. God, I need your guidance. God, I need your strength. God, I need your courage, right? And when we do that, the next part is a promise. It says he will direct our paths. When we come to him and dependency, then it becomes the help that we need, right? And that goes also with the scripture that talks about that we should humble, that to the humble he gives grace. To those who humble themselves, see their need of him, he gives grace, he helps. But to those who feel they don't need him, they feel they're sufficient in themselves, God shows that he proves to them that they are not. He proves that to them the faultiness in their stand or in their thinking, the error in their ways. to show them truly that they are miscalculated, that they truly cannot do without him, right? He proves them wrong. But to those who are humble and recognize their limitedness, their weakness, he gives strength. It's like Paul was saying, that if in our weakness, God's strength is made perfect. In my recognizing my weakness, God's strength is made perfect, right? His grace is sufficient for us, in our weakness. But it's not just in our weakness, it's in the acknowledging of our weakness, in our acknowledging of our limitedness, acknowledging that we need him. Then he comes and is strong on our behalf. Let's pray.